Today for the Bitcoin price, we will show you one specific indicator for Bitcoin, which not only predicted every single bull run in the history of Bitcoin, also this one here, even more important, just in the last year, a few days before the famous 1st of April bull run right here, this indicator flipped bullish and predicted this run up to 14,000 US dollars. And guess what, guys? A few days ago, this specific indicator just flipped green again, predicting and indicating towards the fact that we may see again a severe front running towards the halving event in May 2020 this year. Guys, we will show you all of that in that video, and also two very interesting tweets which point towards the fact that Bitcoin is right now probably the best thing to invest in the history of mankind. Guys, make sure you take a seat, make sure you smash up the like button right now. And that being said, welcome crypto friends and welcome back to MMCrypto. My name is Chris, and as always, we are really pumped to go straight into the content. And right now we are here on the daily chart of Bitstamp. You can also use the BLX. And now let's turn this indicator on, and maybe you heard about it before, but however, there is one key thing we have to keep in mind here when using this specific indicator. We are here talking about the superguppy EMAs, exponential moving averages. And as you can see, this specific indicator just flipped green again. Zooming out, you can see that this indicator is not flipping back and forth just like every single day or week. This one really takes time to flip green or to flip red. And this is very good because then the likelihood of us getting a false signal is getting lower. However, guys, before we show you how to read it, how to understand it, and what this specific green flipping right now means for the Bitcoin price in the short and mid run towards the halving, we want to show you how this one is calculated, because I mean, without a basic understanding, it makes no sense to talk about it, right? And what we can see here is that we have a group of short-term moving averages, EMAs, exponential moving averages, and these short-term moving averages are the 3-day, 5-day, 8-day, 10, 12, and 15. And then we have the long-term or the longer-term moving averages, which is the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 and 60-day moving average. And taking all of these together, we are getting this picture here. And what you can see is two different kind of ribbons, EMA ribbons. We have the short-term EMA ribbon, which you can see here on the upper side. And in this case, whenever the superguppy is red, we can see them here below the ribbon, the longer-term ribbon. And of course here the longer-term ribbon, which is getting this nice colors, green and red for bullish trend, green and red for the bearish trend. And whenever the short-term moving average ribbon is above the longer-term moving average ribbon, as right here, or also right here in 2016-17, then the superguppy flips green. And guess what happened just a few days ago? Well, the short-term moving average went above the long-term moving average. Then we have a neutral zone just to make sure there is no wrong signal. And now after some time, like last week, a few days ago, this superguppy or superguppy, I don't know how you pronounce it in English, just flipped green once again. Well, what does that mean for the Bitcoin price? Looking at the previous bull and bear runs, we can see that here, for example, the short-term moving average went above the long-term moving average, and then we had a few days, weeks of consolidation, crisscrossing here of the short and long-term moving average, which means there is an indication for a bullish reversal, for a trend change. And then also just in time, a few days before we had that massive pump, it flipped green, and well, we were off to the races. And then of course we flipped down a little bit, but only after we decided flipped down, this one also turned red and indicated a massive bear trend here to the downside, which was actually very indicative here for the Bitcoin price. So that was very on point for the last bull run or like bullish trend reversal in 2019. Going back here into the 2015, 16, 17 one, after the Bitcoin price, the short-term moving average went above the longer-term moving average, we were due for a massive uptrend here for the Bitcoin price. And guys, look at it, very important. Sometimes we went below and actually had the short-term being below the long-term, as you can see that right here, or maybe even right here. But then, as you can see, the superguppy usually tends to give no false signals. It is giving false signals sometimes. We will come to that later. But that's why you have this neutral zone here where you don't know, all right, is it going to flip or not? And Bitcoin price went back above again and the superguppy stayed bullish. However, guys, here is one small fake signal and the price went above again. So there's one very important thing we have to keep in mind when using this one here. First of all, we want to show you another one. So here we went below and we had the bearish trend. Guys, but very important, what you can see here is that this one flipped green, flipped bullish again and provided us with a wrong or with a false signal just before the Bitcoin price ran for a few more weeks here on a severe downtrend. So it is very, very important that after the Bitcoin price and the short-term moving average is going above and we confirm it, that we also stay above and don't break down again. Otherwise, this serves also sometimes as a false signal. You can see that basically, usually this superguppy is such an amazing, good bullish indicator for macro trend reverses zooming out. We are here not talking about the next few days. We are here talking about the next few weeks or month. And very, very important here, running towards the halving. This one flipping green is very, very bullish because if we go back to the 2016 halving, we can see that we had the severe bull trend here prior to the halving. And also we had the short-term moving average going above the longer-term moving average, making this one flipping green. And then we had a small little dump below, but it didn't flip red again. So we had the severe uptrend. And only after the halving, we had the sell the news event. After the front running here, we had the sell the news event going out of the halving, and then this one flipped red with a small little false signal again because Bitcoin tends to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people most of the time. Very important. This one here was a very, very nice indicator for a massive front run towards the halving 2016. And there's another very important thing. If we zoom in here and we put in the trend line we just broke a few days ago, then we can see that the superguppy exactly turned bullish afterwards, and that's very important. We talked about it on our channel. After we broke out of this channel here, we said on our channel a few days back that only breaking out is not so important. We also said that if we were to break down again, that we take this here and we confirm the breakout just by hitting the trend line again. This is a textbook confirmation of a breakout and actually very, very bullish. Taking the confluence here of the superguppy also into consideration, immediately with the confirmation of that breakout, the superguppy here turned green again. Only from the technicals, from the superguppy, from the confirmation of the breakout, this looks actually very, very good, especially towards the front running here of the halving event in May 2020. One small bearish thing here which we wanted to mention is, and guys, you know MMCrypto, we don't like to say it, but we have to be honest here, with that confirmation and then the breakout to the upside again, we would have actually liked to see a little bit more of significance here on the volume candles because, I mean, we are still in a volume downtrend even though we had that very bullish signal here. So this would have been a little bit more bullish, a little bit more significant with more volume. We have to say it like it is, guys, obviously. Now, very important, guys, do you think we will see a front running towards the halving just as this indicator is actually predicting right now? Let us know in the poll which is popping up on top of the screen right now. Halving, bull run, front running, yes or no? Click yes or no right now in our poll here on top of the screen. Very important also here, one tweet of ours, and we will show you the most important tweet towards the end of the video. We want to urge you to stay here because the second tweet from Plan B is extremely important. Here we just tweeted that 162 billionaires own the same wealth as half of the humanity. So let's say we have 7 billion people in the world, then 162 people own as much as 3.5 billion people in the world. So now think about the purchasing power of these billionaires. Do you think they want to lose their purchasing power? Do you think when something crazy like Bitcoin pops up that they will not take advantage of it? And now look at the number of millionaires in the world. 40 million millionaires in the world. Do you think these, at least like a little bit smart people here, will miss out on the opportunity once at least the mainstream talks about it? And now think about it. These guys are probably not even in, at least not all of them, maybe a few of them. Most of these guys are not in as well. So guys, imagine what happens if every one of these millionaires want to own one Bitcoin. And now also, guys, imagine the FOMO of the billionaires once Bitcoin goes viral, think about it and think about what happens to the Bitcoin price once that happens, no matter if there will be a financial crisis or not, even though that might act as a very nice boost. Very important, guys, there is a link to that tweet in the pinned comment down below. Make sure you check it out, give it a like, give it a retweet if you want to support us here, also on Twitter, guys, at MMCrypto on Twitter. Also, the last tweet here from Plan B, this one is showing you the risk towards the return. Well, of course, Bitcoin has a huge upside. Bitcoin has probably the biggest upside in the world. But how about if you discount it for the risk? Because that's the most important thing, well? I mean, you can play lotto, you can go down and just hope for getting the magic numbers to win 150 million or whatever. But the risk of losing your whole money is just significantly higher than the upside of winning the lottery game, right? So how is it if you adjust it for the risk? Before we go into that, we want to tell you guys, just very quickly, guys, don't go out of the video. Very important, it is ending very, very soon. You get up to $400. This is the biggest bonus you can actually get and we have ever seen in the history of leverage exchanges. If you are an experienced trader, very important, you can get up to $400 by clicking that link, making your own account, following these steps here for your deposit bonus. Make sure you check it out, sub and bell to our channel here, and now let's get into it before we wrap it up for today, because this one actually really caught our eyeballs. It is from Plan B, 100 trillion USD, and he was talking about that Bitcoin is the only asset with a sharp ratio of more than 1 risk towards return. Classic assets like stocks, bonds, gold, risk and return basically is flat. Even the FANG, so Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix and Google are not even close to Bitcoin, not even close, guys. And those were in the history the biggest gainers ever. So guys, note I skipped Bitcoin's first years, so even taking out the highest percentage returns, just to be fair towards them, we still see such a huge difference. And basically here on the left hand side, you can see the return, the geometric annual percentage returns. And here on the downside, you can see the risk, the maximum annual loss in percentage. So if we were to make that bigger right now and we zoom out a little bit, you can see that Bitcoin is here on the upside, even discounted for the risk. We see an annual percentage return of 140% over the risk. Whereas for the FANG, I mean, the best one is Netflix here between 2002 and 2019, taking the IPO until today. This is, even that is below 40%. So even taking the best performing stock you could have ever found out there, like Netflix, Amazon, Apple, and Google, even those are, if you count them together, still below Bitcoin, even if you take out the risk. So guys, this is by far, Bitcoin is by far the best asset in the world, in the human history. So we should actually go out there and show this one here to Peter Schiff. And if you take gold, which is an amazing asset to invest in, right, in the long term, into consideration, it gets even more obvious, guys. But guys, very important, if you like that episode, just give it a small little like here. Go up to the video here and like our video just by clicking this here. One small little click, it really doesn't hurt you, but for us, it is a huge joy. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto. And as always, guys, as always, bye-bye.